welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a speed review style video of just an accumulation of products that I've done first impressions on in the past months or so. I will have any relevant videos listed down in the description box, as well as everything that I'm wearing on my face today. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet, but I have a lot of products in front of me, so we're just gonna quickly go through the intro and get started. All right, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. But usually when I do these types of videos, I do more of a ranking style. I did still do that for foundations, so I will link that video up above. And I also did that for eyeshadow palettes. But for this miscellaneous product category, I kind of thought it would be better to group them into categories. So you'll have to let me know down below in the comments which you prefer, more of a ranking or more of just a grouping, because sometimes the ranking is very minimal ranking them. It's kind of arbitrary. So I thought this would be better. There's going to be 4 categories as far as the ranking. So bottom of the list is going to be products that I'm decluttering. Even though they're new, I don't like them enough where I don't want to hang on to them. Even for review purposes, I just want to get it out of my collection. Second tier after that is going to be the meh, okay products. If I was to rate them on a scale, maybe like a 1 to 3. And then after that would be good or great products. So that would probably be like a 4 to 7. And then Holy Grail, love these, very hard to get into category. I don't just give that to anything. And that would be 8 to 10 on a scale from 1 to 10. So let's just get started with the declutters. And I have a few, so maybe first talk about lips. I'm gonna try and keep all of this as brief as I can. I do tend to talk and babble a lot, but I have 2 of the ColourPop glowing lips. I don't know why I continue to buy ColourPop lip products when for the majority of the time I just don't like them. These were too slippy, glorified lip balm, which I do like. I don't necessarily love matte lipsticks. I do like a sheer kind of tinted chapstick, but this just wasn't special. It kind of smells weird to me. It doesn't smell expired, just the scent of this is kind of off. I don't love it. You'll see some other ColourPop down the line here, but this just wasn't doing it for me. And then the third lip product I'm going to declutter, this was in my Yes Style haul, and this is the Unleash Glossy Lip. This was just so sticky. It says non-sticky dazzle tint on it, but I really did not like the texture. It's kind of very jelly texture and just not what I was expecting from my K-Beauty haul. Quite honestly, I wanted more of that popsicle lip, and this is kind of, it like sits on top of the lip, I think is the problem. And that's what I mean by jelly. It didn't really mesh with my lips. I felt like I had product on top. So I'm not going to hang on to this. I'm going to find someone who can give it a better home. Next up in the declutter pile, also from my Yes Style haul, this is the Suzanne Pearl Glow Highlight. Honestly, it just wasn't special enough to keep. Average highlight, packaging's not special, a little bit powdery. It's not like a bad highlight, a bad formula, but I have so many highlights. I do need to be a little bit picky with what I'm bringing into my collection. And I just know that I'm not going to reach for this. If the packaging was prettier, I would maybe consider keeping it, but it just doesn't have a special enough formula, special enough packaging for me to hang on to. And the last thing that I'm going to declutter is this Oden's Eye Solomon 2 Gel Liner Set. I got this in a Oden's Eye mystery box. It was my very first mystery box ever. And usually, you know, all these products, for the most part, I test out a few times. I want to make sure that I'm giving my full thoughts on them, not just a first impression thought. These I just didn't reach for, so I'm not going to keep them. Gel liners aren't my thing. Colorful liners aren't my thing. I have 3 liners. I have a brown, a black, and I have more of a nude color. There's just not much for me. That's a very practical makeup product for me. And so I'm just not going to hang on to them. I opened a few of them when I swatched them in the video, and they seemed okay. You know, they are very emollient, so I don't know the lasting power. And the colors are pretty. So this is a lilac color. I'm not upset. It's just not something I'm gonna use. So I thought I'd mention it, but I did not test out the formula to know if it's good or not. I just didn't wanna open it if I knew it wasn't something I was gonna reach for. Next up is the meh category, like the just okay stuff that I want to keep a little bit longer. I don't necessarily want to declutter, but I could see myself decluttering them in the future. I'm going to start with all of the K-Beauty stuff again, because a lot of this was from my K-Beauty haul. And I have the Wake Make, and this was a bronzer. I have Soft Warm. This was okay. I like the packaging. I like how it's kind of wavy. It has this like ombre effect to it. Even though this looks very light, it shows up nice on the skin. I mean, if you have anything darker than me, your skin tone's darker than me, it won't fit for you, but it is a nice bronzer. I have nothing bad. It just doesn't stand out to me as being amazing. I just didn't hate it enough to declutter it. And then I have two blushes. I picked up a lot of blush from Yes Style. First one is this Pastel Cushion Blusher in Indian Red. For some reason, I love the little puff. I think it's cute. This just wasn't a blush I jived with. There were so many blushes from my Yes Style haul, and this was not one I was wanting to reach for. I think I was just expecting something different. I think I was expecting this to be a cream when I ordered it. So seeing that it's a powder, it's not bad. It's not special, again, like most of these. The other K-Beauty item I have was this little heart cookie. And honestly, this is just staying for the packaging mainly. The formula is very hard pressed. It's just a nude blush, very cute. I love the packaging in it. Formula is not outstanding. It's a nice nude blush, nothing special. I used this a few times, but you'll see there's just so many blushes that were better than this, so I wasn't necessarily reaching for it all the time. And I think it's okay. I want to keep it clearly, but there was nothing that made me just say, wow, I can't wait to use this tomorrow. So that is also just in the meh. The next thing I want to talk about is the lipstick that I'm wearing today. I do have it mixed with something else, but I got this in the mystery box from Odin's Eye, and this is the, let's see, Brown Rose lipstick. It's nice. It's creamy. I like more of a cream lipstick, so it's not too matte. It does stay on the lips. It goes nice with the lips. It's a little bit darker than an everyday shade that I would wear, which is why it's just meh. I don't find the formula to be anything you have to run out and get. Packaging is really nice. It's really hefty. It feels really luxe, actually. And I like all the details here. Like there's an embossing even on this component part where the bullet comes up. I think it was very well designed, and I don't think it's a bad product. It's just not something where I'm really enticed to go out and buy other shades in this, or buy a shade that maybe I would wear more often. So that's why I kind of just put it in the meh category. The next thing, you know, this really surprised me. So this is the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb in the original How Many Carats. So I actually tried rosé or iced. I don't remember the one that I have. I'll pop it up on the screen that I tried first. It was not the original, which is this one. So I loved that one. And I bought the original thinking like, wow, if that one was so nice, I'll probably love the original. But this just does not hit the same as the one that I tried first. Formula is very nice. I have nothing bad to say about the formula. I think just for me, it's a little bit too much of a translucent base. It's just more of a preference. I did actually wear this on my lid today, so I put this all over with a bronzer to just make sure I was wearing in this video products that I'm talking about today. As a single shadow, it's very, very nice. There's not a lot of fallout. I like the gel formula to it. It sticks down in place, but as a highlight, it's just not something that I'm gonna reach for. I can't declutter it yet. It is very beautiful, but I could see myself, like if I was being really brutal in a declutter, getting rid of it. And that's why I just put it in the meh. If you like this product and have other ways that you use it other than just a traditional highlighter, I'd love to know in the comments, because I want to get use out of this product, not just the first one that I tried. So let me know how you use this if you're not using it as a highlight. And the last one that I have in this meh category is the Sydney Grace Luminous Light Face Palette. I have the light version, so it comes with 2 blushes, a highlight, and a bronzer. Originally, I had this in the good category, but then I moved it because really out of this, I don't like the bronzer. I don't like this blush. This blush is more of a shimmery blush. So it's not shimmery. It's more luminous, like a satin. It doesn't have glitter, but it has a very strong sheen. I don't like blushes like that. So I do like this blush here, and I like this highlight, but this blush is just a little bit too boring. And that's why I put it in just more the meh category, because I don't find anything about this palette to just be super, super special. Formula, solid. Sydney Grace has excellent formula. If you're someone who likes a more luminous blush plus a matte blush and you like more of a warm tone bronzer, this bronzer was so warm tone, and I really like a cool bronzer, maybe even neutral, but definitely more cool. It was just too orange based for me, too much yellow in this bronzer. So I could see this being very good. I could see people who just want something easy, all in one palette, going through this entire thing, like the formula. But for me personally, I know this isn't something I'm gonna reach into a lot, only because I don't like every shade. I would use these 2 blushes and mix them together, but this bronzer, I really just don't like how it looks on me, and that's why I know I'm just not gonna reach into it. We're on to the next category, so that is good products, great products, not holy grails. This is gonna be the bulk of the items, if I'm being honest, because it's really tough for me to put something as great holy grail status. So these are all really solid products that I've reached back into, wanted to reach back into, it's just missing that little extra that took it up into the holy grail status. Let's first talk about, I guess, primer. This primer here, so this is the I'm Uni Watery Rose Makeup Base. Got this from Yes Style, and I liked it a lot. I have nothing bad to say about it. I didn't put it in the meh category, and I put it more in the great category because I like the texture of this. It's very silicone-y and hydrating, so it feels like water on the skin. You can't see it, it's clear, but it smells really nice. It does have a very heavy rose scent if you don't like rose, but I like that it feels hydrating. I like that it's more of that silicone jelly feel. I've been reaching for this quite a bit. I have nothing bad to say about it. I would really probably consider repurchasing it if I went through this entire thing. Let's just keep going with the stuff that I picked up. That was K-Beauty. I had the Etude Fixing Tint. This is also a lip product. I have the shade Dusty Beige. I like this a lot better than that other one that I'm just decluttering. However, this still just wasn't giving me K-Beauty vibes that I was looking for. If you have good K-Beauty lip products that you recommend, let me know down below in the comments, because I want that traditional blotting lip popsicle look that's a little bit more on the matte side, and I just did not pick those up. This is still a little bit shiny, similar texture, but it's much more thin and watery, so it doesn't sit on top of your lips as much as that other one. Like the shade, I've used this a few times. This is like my ideal shade, kind of this like cool tone purple pink. Like this a lot, and I've been using it. And then I have the, let's see, FOC Allure matte bronzer, definitely more of a contour. Looks scary in the pan. I was nervous to try this on because it looks so dark, but it shears out quite nicely on the face. It is more of a contour than a bronzer. It's kind of coming up patchy on my hand just from all the product on there, but it looks very nice. It gives a very nice shadow. I actually use this on my eyes today, more to just deepen up the outer corner. I'll talk about the other bronzer in a second. This is just a really solid contour, and I liked it a lot. And then I have this blush that everyone talks about. This is the Juicy Pang Blusher. Kind of comes in like this nail polish bottle style. And I have nothing bad to say about this. You know, I just prefer more of a cream blush than a liquid. This is a little bit liquidy for me, but I've been loving these orange style blushes. It does sheer out really nice. I can see why everyone loves these blushes. And if you want like poppy blush colors without having too much of a pop, this gives like a really nice watercolor effect. So you can get that color without really feeling like it's just a punchy, bold blush, which is very much in trend now. So it's kind of hard to find color blush that's a little bit more toned down, and this is beautiful. I don't think I would buy other shades of this, but I am very happy with this, and I've used this quite a few times, not just for testing purposes, but because I thoroughly actually enjoyed it. I want to get these lip products out of the way. The two that I have in the good pile, one from Odin's Eye, and I liked this a lot. This is a matte lip stain from the Alva collection, and this is bright. This is Red Apple. I wore it in some kind of video. I will link it down below, but I like how versatile this is. I mean, this is red. I don't wear this kind of color often, but when I wore it, I kind of just took it on my finger and tapped it out and made it much more sheer and wearable. This is a nice matte formula. I actually looked on the website to look at different shades of this because it's not a shade I would wear that often, and I wanted more of a nude, just that I could wear it because I like the formula that much. I think it's really nice. It's a comfortable matte. It is a lip stain, so it's really long lasting. This is a really nice lipstick formula, and it takes a lot for me to be impressed by a lipstick formula because I find them to kind of all blur together. There's nothing really that makes it stand out. This is one that I probably will buy another shade of. I liked it a lot. And the last lip product in this group is the ColourPop Blotted Lip. I know I was just talking about how I don't like a lot of ColourPop products, their lip products specifically. This was really nice. This is what I kind of was expecting. I picked this up at the same time I picked up those glowing lips. This is like a sheer tint, and it kind of sets down and just gives like a really nice wash of color. I like it a lot. It doesn't look like a lot on the lips, so if you're wanting something punchy, this is not it. I have the shade, let's see, Melty, but I really, really like this, and this is something that if I was to place another ColourPop order, I would throw another one of these in the cart. Glowing lip comes in the same tube, so it's a little bit confusing. I don't recommend those, but the blotted lips are really, really nice. Now, I also have two bronzers to talk about. One is high-end and one is drugstore. So the Pat McGrath bronzer and the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer. Both of these were first impressions for me. And you know, I kind of put them both on the same scale. I think maybe I prefer the Pat McGrath one a little bit more. I picked up the shade Nude Honey in Pat McGrath, and in the L'Oreal, I have the shade Light. I'm only picking the Pat McGrath over due to shade. So maybe light isn't for me. It's a little bit, again, just warm tone. Prefer a cool neutral bronzer. I've already said that. So that's the only reason. It's not so warm tone, it's unwearable, but it definitely is just more warm tone than I prefer. I am wearing this bronzer on my cheeks today, and it's not, I mean, you can't really see it that much in the viewfinder, so maybe I should have gone a shade up. I probably am not going to prioritize that. I think this is fine, or I'll just wear it in the winter time. It's a nice product. I like reaching for it. It's not, you know, in the main category. I put it in the good category for a reason. I think it's a solid, reliable bronzer. It's just not a holy grail where I want to reach for it every single day. And same with Pat McGrath. A little bit disappointed in just how average I felt like this bronzer was. Like I said, I picked up the shade Nude Honey. I probably use this the most out of all the bronzers, so I did like it a lot. Just there's other bronzers I gravitate more towards. I almost wore off the entire crown embossing, so I gave this a really good run to test it, and I think it's okay. It's just, I wanted more from this. The blush formula gives you more. You can't explain it, but it just looks so effortless on the skin. And this wasn't bad. It's a solid formula, but it didn't give me that, oh, this is worth the price tag vibe. And that's why it's just in the good category. So pick this up on sale. I don't think you'll regret your purchase, but it's definitely not worth the full price Pat McGrath price tag. Almost done with the good category. I want to talk about this face palette first. So this is from Bobbi Brown. This is the Sculpt and Glow palette, and I picked up the shade Medium. I really like this. I almost put this in a Holy Grail, but I just don't use face palettes as much, and I want to be very particular about the Holy Grail category. I use this a lot. This has a bronzer in it, this orange blush that I've just been obsessed with, and then their cult classic highlight formula in here in gold. The reason that I didn't pick up the light version was because it had the pink highlight and I already own that. So that's why I decided to go for medium. And I think medium worked good for me. I have to be a little bit careful with the bronzer, but that's about it. And it takes a while. I think the medium would fit a good amount of people versus the light and the deep version. I like this a lot. I love the packaging. It's very fabric feeling. I think that it feels luxe. I haven't gotten along with Bobbi Brown all the time in the past, and this really took it up a notch for me. Very happy about this purchase. I saw that they're coming out also with a eye and face palette type thing. I'm very interested in picking that up. I probably will, but this is very nice. It's a baked formula and it just looks beautiful on the skin. My only con about this is the highlighter. I know that this is a more popular highlighter just in the beauty sphere. This is a very popular, well talked about highlighter. The thing is, most people probably have this if you're a Bobbi Brown fan. And second, it just doesn't match the theme of this palette. These two, while they look bright, it's a very soft, blendable, buildable formula. It's not a very pigmented formula because of the way that it's baked. So I just felt like this was so stark compared to these products. Now I use this a lot. I would use it on like very light makeup days because it was just so easy to use. If I was traveling, this would be a great travel palette. I would just kind of put on like a very light skin tint, use my bronzer, blush, highlight, and then I was able to take this bronzer in the crease and this highlight on my lid, have a very simple eye look with not a lot of products. That was the main way that I use this actually, just on those days. So I reach for this a lot, and this is something that I'll continue to travel with. It brought me right back around to Bobbi Brown. I am back on their side of things because some of their products that I had tried in the past were not good. I'm glad I gave this a shot because I really love it. And then the last thing in the good category is this Guerlain highlight. I did not see good things about this. I've had this for quite a long time before it launched in the US. I have the shade Cool Ivory, so it's 00. They launched two. It's like this baked gelée formula. It's very hard pressed. And you can see this is Cool Ivory, but it's very warm toned still. The thing is, I think that people didn't like this because they picked up the gold version of it. I'll pop up swatch photos of both of them so you can see. But the gold, I saw it in person. It is almost like a bronze gold. It is so deep. I can't see it working for any skin tone other than a very deep complexion. So I think that honestly, it came down to most people picked out the wrong shade. This is a really nice highlighter. I'm happy that I have this. I did also struggle with this one, putting it down in the mint category versus the good category, but I can't lie, like I do really enjoy this highlighter. My cons to this are it's just not worth the price tag. It's definitely not a highlight that I think is worth the price tag, even though I really like it. It should have been like $15 less. Like this highlight is the same price as their new foundation. So I just think it's a little bit pricey for what it is. However, I am happy that I picked it up. I liked reaching for it all the time. I used it a lot. I'm surprised that you can still even see the writing in it. Guerlain products are also just hit and miss. So the fact that I like this, I think speaks volumes to it. But I know that a lot of people didn't like the formula, found it kind of metallic, I think is what I heard. But I didn't find that. I found that it laid really nice. I'm actually wearing it today. Personally, I have nothing bad to say about this highlight, and I liked it and I would recommend it to my friends. We are finally at the Holy Grail category. I only have 5 things to talk about, and 4 of them are blushes. So let's talk about the only non-blush thing in here, and it's the Victoria's Secret Contour Wand. I have the shade Marble. I wish I didn't put this in the Holy Grail. I wish I didn't like it as much as I did because it is very pricey for the amount of product that you get. But I love using this. I think it's a really nice shade, because it's such a thin stick, it makes it very easy to use. I mostly use this for a nose contour, not necessarily for my face because it is a lot thinner of a stick and you have to use more product. And mostly I just want to save it. I don't want to run through it. I think if you're using it every day, you could easily go through this entire thing. If you're wearing makeup every day, I could see you going through this in maybe a month. So for the price tag, it's very hefty, but it is a very beautiful product. It blends out beautifully. It looks nice. It wears really well. It's long lasting. You can still see it. And I'm happy that I have it. If I was to go through it, I mean, I have so much contour in my collection, but if I was to go through it, I would repurchase it. And that's why I put it in the Holy Grail status. Now, the 4 blushes that I have, I also put the Victoria Beckham blush in here in the shade Fever. This is one of the Cheeky Posh blushes. So it's her cream stick formula in this punchy, beautiful orange color. I've just really been liking this color a lot, but it obviously doesn't look like this. It shears out really nice. I'm late to the blush trend, to the blush just everywhere, super bright. And I don't love a really bright, bold blush, but I do like a little bit of color. I just want it to be toned down. So this is very buildable. You can layer it, make it brighter, but you can also make it just a lot more every day if you're also like me and you don't want to just have like big, bold blush cheeks. I don't want that, but I still want a little bit more, and this gives it to me. And then I'm probably going to say the same things about the other ones of these. The blush that I'm wearing today is the Danessa Myricks blush, and this is in the shade Jubilee. So like I said, that's what I'm wearing today. And this is just the perfect blush formula, in my opinion. It dries down to this more powdery feel, so it's not sticky. This blush I will set with a powder just because I find it still a little bit sticky. This dries to the perfect finish. You don't have to set it down, so I don't have to worry about having multiple blush products. I can just use this one and be good. Love the shade that I got. One of the very first Danessa Myricks product that I tried, and I'm really pleased with it so far. Now the next blush is a little bit more different. This is the Rare Beauty blush. I have not tried their liquid. This is the Nearly Neutral Cream Blush. Now this I love for an entirely different reason. This is a very subtle blush. I'm gonna try and heavy swatch it. Similar formula to the Danessa Myricks. It feels a little bit powdery and has like a good dry time. This is just, like it says, nearly neutral. If I had to guess, I haven't tried it, but I would probably venture to say that it might be similar to the new Makeup by Mario. It gives me that same vibe. It's a very just light blush. This is the blush I wear on no makeup days where I just want a little bit of color, like the slightest color, have a teeny tiny bit on my cheeks, but not go overboard where it's like, okay, she's not wearing foundation, but she's wearing blush. This is the one that I reach for. Really like it. I reach for this one all the time. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because I haven't been wearing a full face of makeup a lot. And this is just nice to kind of feel put together without spending 15-20 minutes doing my full routine of makeup. I can just kind of put this on, put some mascara on, and feel really nice. I'm just overall very happy with the blushes that I've picked up, but these are my favorite of the bunch. The last favorite that I have to talk about is the Juicy Pang Jelly Blusher in BE02. So it looks like this. Packaging, boring, not great, but this formula is really nice. Kind of has like that putty feeling almost, kind of like the Stila highlighters, if you're familiar with that formula. Shade is also very neutral. I mean, they have different shades on the Yes Style website. I'll link it down below. Here's this one here. So you can see out of all of them, it's actually the most brown neutral tone one, followed by the Danessa Myricks, then the Rare Beauty, followed by Victoria Beckham, even though I would say on the cheeks, this looks the most nude. This gives you some punch. This actually really shows up on your cheeks. The Juicy Pang blush blends into your skin seamlessly, perfectly, with little to no effort. You can take a brush, a sponge, whatever your preferred method of applying blush is, and just tap it on and it's already blended out. That's the great thing about this formula. I don't know what kind of magic is in it, but that's what really draws me to this one is it's so fast and quick to apply every single time. I barely have to blend it out and it looks beautiful, stunning, all the good words of a blush that you would want. So just to recap, these 4 out of the, how many blushes did I talk about today? 1, 2, like 7 blushes. These 4 are my favorite out of all of them. There was not that much else that I really wanted to put as a holy grail except for these. And I've had a hard time reaching for my Shop My Stash blushes. If I'm being honest, I do a Shop My Stash series. I will put the playlist up above. And I've had a hard time reaching for it because I've been wanting to reach for these. So that's partly why I wanted to do this video even, just so I could put this into my collection and start a new drawer of just makeup that I need to further test out after first impressions. But that's all that I have to talk about today. Hopefully this wasn't too long and I gave you a quick bullet point pros and cons to all of these products. You'll have to let me know down below if you picked any of these up. Not all of them are new. These were just all new to me products. So let me know if you have any of these in your collection, if you decluttered any of them, just your overall thoughts on some of these products and where I put them, what category I put them in. But that's where I'm going to leave you all today. I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.